Hi guys, and welcome to another video, and today I will be just doing a review or a short summary of the pros and cons of the Teufel Rockster Cross. And I really think this is a great speaker, especially when you compare it to a lot of competitors, like for example JBL and Sony and what so on. So if you're in the European market, this is definitely a speaker to look out for, and yeah, might even purchase one if you have the money to. They actually bumped up the cost for the speaker to 330 euro instead of 300 euro that they had before. It's because the JBL Extreme runs for 330 euro, if I'm not completely wrong here. So they basically bumped up the price to match the JBL Extreme, and this is still a better performer than the JBL Extreme on battery. I don't know how they perform on when they're unplugged on AC, but maybe they're similar, I don't know. So let's go over the feature to begin with. Here we have a large woofer and one tweeter. It's a pretty good dispersion of the sound, having one tweeter there and one there. You can also, as I can show you here, you can place it up like this, which is pretty cool actually. So you can, if you have it on a table or something and you're standing up, you can, yeah, lift the speaker up as well, and or turn the speaker at a good angle so you can hear the music. It also got hooks on each side, so you can use that. Anything more? Yes, here on the back, power button, focus please, yes, outdoor button, a Bluetooth, and pairing. You can pair two of these, no speaker or nothing else rather. And these does not play in stereo, but they still sound amazing, in my opinion, of course. But stereo is not an option. There's no app or anything for that matter. Here we have two passive radiators, one on each side. We have two handles here, so you can grab this good way, so you don't always need to use the strap. You can also just grab them here, and there's pretty good room. I don't have the largest of hands, but yeah, I fit nicely in those handles. Here we have an AC, or you plug in your speaker. It's the same port as the JBL Extremes, JBL Extreme 1, 2, and the Boombox 1, 2, maybe. I don't know. I don't own them, but yeah. But there is no USB-C on this. Headphone jack. And here we have a micro, can't show it. Micro USB for service, and then USB-A out. I don't like using speakers as a power bank, because that will end up draining the battery life and make the speaker not last as long as if you didn't use the battery life, because that's probably what's going to go bad first of every component rather in the speaker. It's the battery. 37 watts RMS, so more than the JBL's JBL Extreme when they are running on battery, and still louder on when they are on AC. Don't know if they, and probably similar bass as well when the Extremes are on AC. Is there anything more? IPX5 water resistant. I don't know how big the battery is. Probably similar. It's very similar to battery life, or I haven't really tested them out, but it's probably pretty similar to the Extreme. So maybe 10,000 milliampere with 3.7 watts, something like that. Something in the neighborhood. Maybe a little bit larger. Who knows? Anything more? Yeah, very cool design in general. Yeah, it's definitely something unique. Haven't seen this shape ever when it comes to speaker. Yeah, it can get rain on it, no problems. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the sound now. I think the sound is amazing, especially outdoors when you can flex its muscles and you can, yeah, put this on higher volumes, and that sounds super good. Can't say anything else. I mean, it gets a little bit compressed, the sound, and might even be a little bit harsh at times because it's so loud that it pierces your ears, but it's really a great sounding speaker, and it retains a lot of bass at maximum volume, and there is no volume pumping, which is also great. So yeah, you still get a good sound, I would say, a listenable sound. And yeah, that is also because it got aptX support. Unfortunately, you can't use it if you have an iOS device, but if you have an Android, aptX is nice to have. Of course, it might not be a deal breaker because people can't, or I haven't actually seen or heard any difference from aptX and no aptX or SBC codec. So yeah, I would be cool to see the difference between those. Something else, sounded great outdoors, as I said, good treble, maybe a little bit harsh at higher volumes. But when it comes to being in indoor, I think it's great, but not amazing. I'm not amazed by the sound. I think, for example, that I'm gonna show you other speaker, the Anker Soundcore Motion Plus is a better choice indoors, and it's because of two reasons: treble and dynamic bass boost. This boosts bass at lower volumes, so you can actually hear the bass, because the human ear does not perceive bass at lower volumes, or it can't hear bass at lower volumes. They need to be a little bit higher for the for us humans to pick them up. So always boosting the bass a little bit is always super appreciated. That's something the Anker does. I would love to see that on the Teufel Rockster Cross. And the other thing is the treble. Even though they have them angled like this, so you get a nice spread, it's not the best when you're at home or in a small room or a bedroom, for example, because it gets angled out like this, and you might be standing in front of the speaker, and then you only get the bass and the vocals and whatnot, or not the vocals, but the mid-range and the lower bass pumping, and you miss all the treble from the sides, or it get a little bit lost. Maybe not even the most detailed treble. I have hard time hearing a difference between treble from speakers in general, but I think this sounds better as well indoors, but not outdoors. Outdoors, this gets lost quicker or easier than this. So the Teufel is not bad at all indoors, but it could be better, is what I'm trying to say. And it's mostly maybe because of the design, even though the design is awesome at the same time. But maybe I don't really know how to describe the treble though. But the bass is good. Bass is much. But not, even though this has dynamic bass boost, this is a fuller bass you get with the speaker. You get a deeper, fuller bass. And is there anything else that I might as well point out? You can't have the speaker set like this and play at maximum volume or at higher volumes, because it will start rattling, and it might even fall back down like this. So for me personally, I don't use this, and you need a flat surface as well, so it's mostly intended for indoor use at lower volumes. Something else is that these hooks are not the easiest hooks to like unclip and clip from. They show eventually a lot of wear and tear, and I've been using these for like 6 months. And it's not even continuous use. It's I use them from time to time when I go outdoor or take them to the beach on a bike or something like that. They're great for that. But yeah, could be better. Maybe a little bit more roomy but I can see why they have this narrow fit, so the hook doesn't get unclipped and the speakers fall to the ground. But at the same time, a little bit bigger, or a little some redesign of the hook, so it gets a little bit easier. It's easy to clip it on, but not as easy to unclip it. And I would say, for example, I'm gonna show you another speaker now. The JBL Extreme 1, for example. Well, I used this actually now when I was outdoor, and it rained quite a bit, but these hooks are the best, better than the newer Extremes, and I guess any other speaker, I don't really know, but they're amazing. It's easy to clip them on, and it's easy to unclip them. Yeah, nothing special, right? I mean, if you get the hang of it, if you get the mechanics, you can make this probably pretty easy as well, but I feel there is always some tricky part to get it on. But it's minor details, like these are minor details. The sound in general is a lot super good. You get way deeper bass and louder bass, or louder volume than both of these. So yeah, for this price range, I guess if you compare it to especially the competitors, this is a really good speaker, and certainly a speaker for a product in general I recommend it. I had a problem with one of my first Teufel Rockster Cross, and I could return it. It was a little bit complicated. You needed to call in, and it was yeah, getting back the order, but eventually when you just read like the instructions correctly that they have on their website, and they will send you and call their service support, and they will give you what's it called, like a letter or something, no, like a postal code or something, a UPS, yeah, thing that you can print out, or you can ask to get received by UPS delivery gang, or whatever you want to call them, and they'll fix it. It might sound complicated when I'm telling you, but I'm really doing a bad description of it, trying to shorten everything down. But yeah, that's the biggest thing I thought of purchasing from this brand. That's not as well known as, for example, JBL. But don't be afraid. This is a good brand, or I have had a very good experience with it. Of course, I'm just one person. There might be other that has been unlucky, but for me personally, this has been a really good experience with this company, and they really try to make something high end that's not like trying to compromise and, oh, we can make that in the next generation. It's all out, just a solid choice. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.